Namaskaram. Deepavali. This is an Indian festival which is well known all around the world. And most of us know Deepavali is the festival of light which symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance. The festival is celebrated by first cleaning and decorating our houses or workplace, followed by shopping and praying for happiness and prosperity. So we do it with all our customs and rituals, but do we know the reason behind celebrating Deepavali? Because in the present day, the festival is being just celebrated for reasons which are not known and the reasons which are forgotten by us during the passage of days, and it is also not conveyed to the next generation. So today let's try to understand why Deepavali is our main festival and the reasons behind the rituals that we perform for Deepavali. Since our childhood, we must have seen the happiness in celebrating Deepavali because we invite our friends and relatives to share the happiness and to spend some time together. We first start with cleaning our houses by dusting every corner of the house and rearranging the things in the houses or workplaces. From elders to kids, everyone pitches in to keep their places very clean. We then decorate our home or workplace with flowers and beautiful rangolis. And then we place some fresh mango leaves in the doorways. Then we take some silverware from the storeroom for puja and make preparations for rituals and prayers. When everything looks welcoming, that is when we invite our friends and relatives to our houses, and then we gift some sweets and special dishes. And out of all, we love to light up the firecrackers and celebrate Deepavali where kids are the happiest for having everyone near and dear around them. So why do we do all these for Deepavali? What does it mean? And what's the reason behind doing what we have always been doing for Deepavali? And the answers to this is what this video is all about. So let's try to understand the reason why Deepavali, the festival of light, symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, good over evil, and knowledge over ignorance, so that you can make it a custom to pass it on to the next generation as well. Deepavali is originally a 5-day festival where each day is taken as a new perspective towards good over evil. First day, Dhanteras Dhantrayodashi Yamadipam. On the first day of celebration, we clean the house and remove all the unwanted things to replace them with the new ones. And most of us just go through the cleaning spree just before the Deepavali begins. Though we assume it is to keep the house clean or it is just a spring cleaning, this actually has a meaning and a reason to it. When we clean our house and remove unwanted things, it is believed to remove any negative energy. We also decorate the doorways and draw rangoli to create a welcoming and pleasant look, thereby to invite the positive energy, which has also been scientifically proven that cleaning the house takes our negative vibes to replace with positivity. However, the real reason we are asked to do so is to invite Goddess Lakshmi into the houses, and it is said, unless the house looks clean and welcoming, it does not please the gods and goddesses. While specifically decorating the doorways with mango leaves, it is believed that the goddess Lakshmi and god of fertility, who is said to have the ability to ward off the evil spirits and negative energy from entering the house. And if you need to know it scientifically, It is done for an antibacterial cleanse against bacteria. Coming to the celebration part of this day, it is called Dhanteras. Dhan or Dhana meaning money, Tera meaning 13th day of the darkest month of the year. It is also believed that gold and silver protects you from bad omen and anything negative, and hence it is considered extremely auspicious to buy precious metals, especially on this day, Dhanteras day. As per mythological aspect, it is largely believed that on Dhanteras day, Goddess Lakshmi visits the houses of her devotees and fulfills their wishes. Also, Lord Kubera, who is the god of assets and wealth, is also worshipped on this day. We buy new lamps for the festival and we buy gold to be able to bring in the new joy and prosperity back home. By buying new things, we invite positive energy from them to enter into our houses. Be it home or office or a shop, or simply you can say just a place where you live, and the source of happiness has to be kept clean. And interestingly, it is also the day associated with Yama, the god of death, and therefore it is called Yama Deepam. People light the lamp outside their houses, at the entrance of their houses, to ward off any threat to the lives of any of the family members. And this tradition is referred to as Yama Deepam. There is also an interesting story on this Yama Deepam. The story goes like this. There was a king named Hima whose son was predicted to die on the 4th day of his marriage. So the wife came up with a plan to distract Yama, and she placed lot of diyas, lamps, and heaps of gold and silver coins and lot of jewelries at the door. The strong light coming from the glittering jewelries and coins and the bright diyas blinded the Yamaraj, where he could not see her husband, and hence he did not take his life. So to summarize this day 1 of Deepavali, cleaning and decorating the house and buying new things on this day implies removing negative energy out of our lives and filling it with good and positive vibes. The second day of this festival is called Naraka Chaturdasi. Naraka means hell and Chaturdasi means 14, which marks the 14th day of the darkest month. This day marks the triumph of Lord Krishna and Goddess Kali. There is a well-known story behind celebrating this day, which is for the destruction of an Asura by Lord Krishna to free 16,000 imprisoned princesses kidnapped by Narakasura. The story goes like this. Hiranyaksha was a terrified demon and he terrorized everyone on earth and heaven. Unable to tolerate him, the people went to Lord Vishnu asking Lord Vishnu to protect them from Hiranyaksha. When Hiranyaksha had come to know about this, he decides to hide the whole earth from Lord Vishnu so that he wouldn't be able to see the earth and hence wouldn't be able to save the people as well. So when Hiranyaksha touched the earth to push her from the axis, an Asura was created out of the contact between Hiranyaksha and Bhuma Devi. The earth then plummeted deep inside the space. Lord Vishnu, who was in the form of a wild boar, held the earth in his horns and pushed the earth back to its axis. Lord Vishnu then fought with Hiranyaksha and defeated and killed him. But a son was born to Bhumi Devi and Hiranyaksha. Lord Vishnu sadly tells Bhumi Devi that he is an Asura and that he is more powerful than Hiranyaksha, and it was only she who can destroy him when the time comes. Centuries roll by, Narakasuran then becomes a powerful and the most cruel king. He defeated the gods and imprisoned about 16,000 women. He did that because he was told that only a woman could kill him. The gods decided that they must inform the atrocities of Narakasura to Lord Vishnu, who had then taken a rebirth as Lord Krishna, and he had a wife called Satyabhama. Narakasura's deed angers Satyabhama, and she asks Lord Krishna to strike a war against him. So the war starts and it goes on for day and night, and there were lots of mystical barriers that Krishna had to break before entering the palace of Narakasura. The final challenge for Lord Krishna was a demon named Mura, who protected the palace of Narakasura. Lord Krishna used all his weapons, but none worked on Mura. He then finally used his extremely powerful Sudarshan Chakra and killed Mura, and hence the name Krishna Murari. After the demise of Mura, Narakasura came out of his palace to fight with Lord Krishna. But by then, Lord Krishna had become a little weak by fighting all the battles so long, and he fainted while fighting with Narakasura. When Satyabhama saw this, she took the place of Lord Krishna and continues the war and kills Narakasura with her bow and arrow. Now you know, Satyabhama is none other than the incarnation of Bhumi Devi, and she is the only one who could kill Narakasura. All the women who were taken captive by the cruel Narakasura were then made free. During the dying moments of Narakasura, the dawn breaks and he sees light, and that light symbolizes the victory of light over darkness. Narakasuran then requested Lord Krishna and his wife Satyabhama to forgive him, and that his death to be celebrated and not to be mourned. They both blessed him, saying that his death will always be remembered and celebrated, and it will be the day of joy and celebrations. And this is exactly what happened. Even to this day, it is celebrated as Naraka Chaturdasi. This shows that the goodness triumphs over evil. On this day, we pray for our ancestors to light their way for their journey to the afterlife and to liberate their souls. It is believed that Lord Krishna, after killing Narakasura, took an oil bath. Hence, taking an oil bath as a ritual on this day is considered auspicious, and it is one of the major rituals followed by many. But even when you see the benefits of taking an oil bath, it cleanses the skin of environmental pollutions and removes the dead cells. But symbolically, an oil bath implies new beginnings by removing egos, fights, jealousy, which is nothing but removing the darkness in us to give way for light. For the people in Bengal, this day is known as Kali Chaudas, that is the day Kali defeated Narakasura. Third day, Lakshmi Puja, Kali Puja. Third day is the last day of the darkest month, and every house will be glowing with lights to celebrate this day as Deepavali. Because it is believed with the light comes prosperity in one's life. On this day, the kids in the families visit their elders like their grandparents to take their blessings. Gifts are shared between the Dhanteras day and Lakshmi Puja, giving everyone the happiness to celebrate this festival. We celebrate Lakshmi Puja by worshipping Goddess Lakshmi to welcome her into our clean house and to bring prosperity and happiness for the upcoming year by reciting the Hindu legends of the victory of good over evil and the return of hope after despair on Deepavali night. While remembering and talking about the stories of our gods, we keep acknowledging and subconsciously paving hope into our minds that goodness always triumphs over evil. Fourth day of Deepavali. Even after the darkness is filled with light, Celebrating the light with the loved ones and embracing it is as important as winning. This day celebrates the unique bond between newlywed couples. So parents invite their newly married sons and daughters along with their spouses to a family meal and bless them for unity and happiness. They refer to the story of Parvati and her husband Shiva, the cosmic process for creation and dissolution of the world. The masculine destructive power is represented by Lord Shiva, and the feminine procreative power is represented by Parvati. The ideal couple who showed that husband and wife are indeed one while portraying Parvati as Ardhanarishvara. There are lots of stories and various versions which says how Shiva and Parvati became one. First story is, after marrying Shiva, Parvati wanted to experience every experience what Shiva underwent. So when she asked him what she must do to know him, he smiled and asked Parvati to sit on his lap. Parvati, with absolutely no resistance towards him, sat on his left lap. Since she was so willing, and since she had also placed herself totally in his hands, he shed half of himself and included her within him and became Ardhanarishvara. The next story goes like this. The creator god Brahma created all male human beings, that is the Prajapatis, and told them to regenerate, which they were unable to do. With the decline in creation, Brahma asked Lord Shiva for help, and hearing his prayers, Lord Shiva appeared before him as Ardhanarishvara. Brahma prayed to the female half of Shiva to give him a female to continue the creation. Then goddess Parvati agreed, and she creates various female powers from her body, thereby allowing creation to progress. In another story, Parvati is described as having suspected Lord Shiva of infidelity when she saw her own reflection in the crystal-like breast of Shiva. A marital dispute erupts, but it was quickly resolved, after which Parvati wished to stay eternally with Lord Shiva in his body. The divine couple was thereafter fused as Ardhanarishvara. Another tale from North India also talks about Parvati's jealousy. Another woman, that is the river Ganga, often is depicted flowing out of Shiva's locks. She sat on his head while Parvati sat on his lap. So to pacify Parvati, Shiva united with her as Ardhanarishvara. With all of these stories, it shows the simple truth, and that the bond between husband and wife should be unity and oneness. Be it when married couples face complications with jealousy and doubts each other, bonding as one is the only solution for a happy marriage. This fourth day is also celebrated as Govardhan Puja, honoring the legend of the Hindu god Krishna, saving the cow herd and farming communities from continuous rains and floods triggered by Indra's anger. This was accomplished by Lord Krishna by lifting the Govardhan mountain. Hindu temples, especially the temples of Lord Krishna, on this day prepare and present mountains of sweets to the faithful ones who have gathered for darshan. Fifth day, Bhai Dooj, Bhau Beej. The last day of this festival is called Bhai Dooj, which celebrates the sister-brother bond, where sisters pray for their brothers to protect them from any harm. According to a popular Hindu mythology, it is said that after slaying the evil demon Narakasura, Lord Krishna pays a visit to his sister Subhadra. So Subhadra gave him a warm welcome with sweets and flowers, and she also affectionately applied tilak on Krishna's forehead and prayed for his long life. And from that day onwards, it became a tradition to apply tilak on the forehead of the brothers. Some believe there is another reason for celebrating this festival. One of the reasons is the sun god had a son and a daughter named Yam and Yami. So Yami requests Yam to pay a visit to her place. And then Yam paid a visit to her, and Yami ensured that he ate out of her hands in the most precise consciousness. And after lunch, she applied a tilak on his forehead and prayed for his long life. Overwhelmed by the love and affection of his sister, Yam or Yama granted his sister Yami a boon. So Yami requested Yama to pay an annual visit to her and further asked him to release every sister who performed these customs and rituals to free them from the fears of death. Yamaraja was gratified and he granted the wish. Hence, the custom of Bhai Dooj became a phenomenon from then onwards. And bathing in the sacred waters of Yamuna is perceived to be of great significance. And finally, to conclude, goodness over evil is not just a story but a hope to be adapted by every person. While we celebrate this festival of lights, let's take a moment to tell the meanings and stories as reasons for the celebration so that we stay strong while the light takes over the darkness. Make it your ritual to recite the meaning of the festivals that we celebrate. May the light triumph over the darkness and good over evil and knowledge over ignorance. Happy Deepavali. Namaskar.